How has this happened again, that you're all here before I get here? I'm very confused by this new development. It's like opening your house. You're walking in your house and go, oh, there are people here already. I don't understand how my settings is suddenly different. But anyway, hello everyone. We are going, I hope you're well. Flag up if you're anything, dealing with anything you want me to know about. We're going to use the band today if you want to. Again, completely optional. All of the exercises will have, you can do without. But it's quite nice to give you a little extra resistance, because it is a resistance band, and also just gives you that extra little stretchy power when we use it lying down for stretches as well. So we're going to start standing up. Sorry, Claire, I'm getting down and then I'm saying that, sorry. Standing up, but just have your band somewhere near you. You don't have to be holding it. So just place it somewhere near you on the floor, because we will be reaching for it in a moment. But I want you just to assemble yourself in your nice standing position. So taking the feet directly underneath the two bony parts of your pelvis. So as ever, just have a little feel around. Just coming home to your body a little bit. So we're sort of placing the hands onto the pelvis to work out where it is. You might even want to have one hand on the lower belly, another hand just sort of lengthening down towards the sacrum. Just have a sense of where your pelvis is today. You've probably been sitting on it quite a lot, and if not, using it to help you mobilize around the world. So I want you to just sort of honor that space with your hands for a moment, and then placing the feet directly underneath the two bony parts, those two protrusions. Solidly releasing down into the ground through the feet. So all 10 toes padding down softly. Imagine like little lizard hands, little lizard pads. And then allow that lift to lengthen out through the crown of your head. So I want you to imagine you're heavy down through the toes and the heel, but the arch of your foot is softly doming and lifted. And then think about that dome just drawing a little bit of energy up from the earth underneath you, and imagine it drawing first into the next dome that it hits, so that pelvic floor space. Imagine if you can softly energize into that space, maybe by lifting the pelvic floor, or even just breathing into that space for a moment. So whatever works for you to energize it and connect to it. And then imagine the next dome here around the rib cage, just softly underneath, resting underneath the lungs, and then out through the roof of the mouth and the crown of the head. So we're kind of mirroring those domes along the body, as we often do. Thinking about that, just now close your eyes and let your arms rest down by your side, and just settle into how your body feels today for a few moments. So thinking about the spaces that we've just considered, where your foot and the feet meet the earth underneath you, that fulcrum of your balance, the pelvis, the space containing your heart and lungs, the heart center, and then upwards towards your head space. Just consider how each of those different landmarks are feeling right now. And then see whether you can soften a little bit more into the ground, but lengthen a little bit more up to the sky. So really creating that sense of space through the body, almost like there's a kind of tug of war going on in your spine. How can you create that sense of dynamic pulled up and down? Someone's sending me a chat. Is Claire not here? So Julia's, are you here? And I can't see you. Oh, there you go. Hello. I couldn't see you. So I want you then to really consider that sense of opposition. So we're going down into the ground, we're lifting up through the ceiling. How can we consider that opposition throughout the whole of this session? So I want you just to roll the shoulders now, opening your eyes if you haven't already. Let's just find that little sense of energy, maybe stretch. It might feel like a massage if you haven't really mobilized that much today. So really get the elbows involved, maybe draw them forward and all the way back. See if you can widen that breath as you're moving the shoulders. And then change direction. And then release the shoulders down. And let's just soften the knees a little bit. So a little micro bend, we're not bending into a squat, but I want you to soften the knees so that you can mobilize more through the pelvis. So let's just do a little round the world. Imagine you have a hula hoop around your waist. Think about trying to move that with your hips rather than with the waist above it. So we're not kind of moving the arms and shoulders. I want you just to move the pelvis a little bit. Notice any ricocheting movement up the body or down the body, but just try and mobilize just in that little tailbone. Imagine you're kind of sort of swishing a tail around underneath you. Change direction if you haven't automatically or instinctively. See if it feels kind of sticky going in one direction compared to the other. It might not, but it might. And then come back through center. Just imagine that you're now balancing with the pelvis directly underneath the heart center, and the knees are no longer bent, so we're just lengthening them up through the back of the leg. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, let's rise up onto the toes. Working the ankle joints. So we've done the shoulders, the pelvis, now a little bit into the ankles. So a little micro bend at the bottom. So this time a little bit deeper than you did before. So let's try and really get into the ankle heel area and then straighten and then press the floor away. And lower, little bend. When you're bending, notice where your knees are going. Are you doing a little kind of, what's that dance called? The kind of 20s dance. I want you to see if you can keep them tracking hip, knee, ankle, center of the foot. All in one line. Last one, lift. See if you can balance at this top lift and then mobilize the neck. We're going to look over the left shoulder and then come back through center. Stay lifted if you can. So unbalance myself by saying stay lifted. Go over to the right and back through center. And then release the knees, little micro bend here. So you've mobilized each landmark that we were talking about. So I want you to take a breath in, just feeling really aware of each as it ripples into the one that comes after it. We're going to come into a roll down. So taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, just lengthening through the back of the neck, really feeling and savoring any sensation. So if your neck is feeling a bit tight, allow that to lengthen. If you're feeling it in the rib cage, maybe in the lower spine, just let each part of your spine release mindfully, lowering all the way down, breathing in and breathing out to rebuild. Shoulders release onto the back, crown of the head lifts. When you get to the top, let's rise up onto our toes and then soften the heels down and then roll your spine forward. Shoulders nice and soft, neck completely free. So with each one of these roll downs, we're going to do 4. I want you to let the shoulders and the neck begin to soften their tension a little bit more through each roll. Taking a breath in at the top as you rise up onto your toes. So there's no rush. If you're not there yet, don't rush it. Release the heels down. 2 more. Breathing in at the bottom. Breathing out to rebuild. Again, really savouring any sensations that you're feeling. So notice where you're feeling it. Is it in the neck, the spine, the back of the legs? Where do you feel the sensations of this movement more pronounced? Maybe you can tune into all of the sensations so we're not on autopilot. Last one. Breathing in at the bottom. Now, if you do have your band close by, don't worry if you haven't, you can always get it once you come up. But if you do, just grab it here from the bottom and then roll up bone by bone with your band in your hands. And we're going to take the band to about shoulder width apart. just quite a gentle shoulder width. So we're not regimented, we're not kind of really super, super tight, but we're also not really loose. So you have that kind of middle ground where you feel like the band is a little bit taut, but your arms are lengthening comfortably at shoulder width. Take a breath in as you float the arms forward and up. And really notice the tracking of the shoulder joints. See if you can not carry the rib cage with you. So you want to feel like the spine stays still as you lengthen the arms, just mobilizing in the shoulder joint and not in the spine. And then release the arms down. Let's settle at shoulder height. So relaxing those shoulders and lengthen the neck, so make sure the shoulders aren't kind of hiking up to the ears. Really drop them down. Now I'm looping the band just sort of in my thumb. You can, if you want, wrap the fingertips around. So whichever creates more sense of length and space for you. We don't want any tense wrists or knuckles. So I want you to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're just going to, for a count of 5, open the arms close. So 1, release, 2, release, 3, release, 4, release, and 5, and then soften. And then release the arms down to relax the shoulders. And we're going to just breathe in to float the arms all the way up again. Really connecting even more each time with your center, trying to draw in through the lower belly, the softness of the ribs, and then release the arms down as you breathe out. Breathing in here, and 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then release the arms all the way down. Relax the shoulders if you need to. Take a breath in to float the arms up. All the way up. Soft ribs drawing in through the tummy. Breathing out, the arms come down. Breathe in here, nice and long. Breathing out, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then release the arms down. So that sort of wakes up and opens into the kind of pec muscles. Maybe you hopefully felt the arms as they connect into the spine or into the shoulders. And now I want you to take the band around the back of your body. So we've thought about the front. Now we're going to think more consciously about that connection around the back of the body. Feeding the band around you, kind of just around the waist, the lower rib area, not too low, not too high. And I want you to have the band, again, looping around so that your thumb is kind of holding it in place and your fingertips are long, so as if you're holding a tray. Relax the shoulders deeply. So we're thinking about the back body, thinking about the shoulder blades resting on the rib cage. I want you to lift the heels and draw them together. So coming into your Pilates stance, just to turn on and activate the muscles around the inner thigh, pelvic floor a little bit more consciously. So let's squeeze the bum a little bit, and then you can soften and release. But I want you now to squeeze it again, drawing in the pelvic floor, and then just release it only about 50%. So see if you can keep a conscious connection with the legs. We're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, you're going to open the arms out to the side. So we're rotating in the shoulder joint, again, not in the ribs. So try and notice whether this starts to happen at all, any kind of movement at all. I want you to try and imagine it's just the shoulder blades on the back. Open and release it down. Let's do 3 more, just like this. So just rotating the arms in their socket, collarbones are wide. Really feel that space in the back and the front of the body evenly. And back. Last one. And back. Lovely. Leaving the arms here, we're going to rise up onto your toes. So the same movement, but this time we've got the heels glued together, and then release them down, little plie. And again, we're going to rise up, slowly lower, little plie. One more, rising up, slowly lower, little plie. Now I want you to lengthen the arms out to the ends of your band. And if you need to, mine has kind of ridden down a little bit. So if you need to adjust it to make sure it's wide enough, then do. I don't want you to feel like you've got a really tight belt against the back of your body. So from here, we're going to just have the arms quite soft. We're not overlocking, extending the elbows, but I want you to feel like you're lengthening from the underside of your arm. So really feel that sense of strength from around the shoulder blades and out, almost like that cape that we're talking about, sort of under rather than above the shoulders. We're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to rise up onto the toes, squeezing through the inner thighs, the heels, the pelvic floor, and then slowly release it down. And as you bend, you're going to open the band out to the side and lengthen out. So we're kind of twisting and opening. And as you do so, see if you can lengthen the front arm as well. So we're really getting a sense of space and opposition. And then come back through center. Let's rise up onto your toes. Slowly lower, a little bend. We're going to open to the other side and reach in opposite directions with the arms. So really lengthen those wings, that cape. And then bring it back through center, squeezing the inner thighs, rise up. Release it down, bend and open. And bring it back. Think about the underside of the arms coming from the kind of tricep area rather than hinging those shoulders towards the ears at all. So really feel that deep connection through the center of the shoulder blades. Back through center, last one, lifting into the toes. Sorry, into the heels. And twist. And back through center, lifting into your squeeze, rising up into your toes. Last one with a little plie, reaching evenly through both sides. And then come back through center. Let's just take a breath in, release the band. You can let it go all the way to the floor, or you can just sort of keep it in your hands. You're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to roll down with this Pilates stance. So if you know that it doesn't feel very nice on your back, take it back into parallel. Otherwise, it just gives you a little bit of a different sensation around the pelvis and the hips. Breathing in, let the band release at the bottom. And breathing out, let's roll up. And let the shoulder blades release into the back. Lovely. Now from here, either coming down onto your knees, or you can stay standing. So as you know, my ceiling doesn't really love me taking the arms all the way above the head, and we're going to do a little bit of proper lovely stretching for the chest. So either standing in your Pilates stance, quite a nice active position, or on your knees, lengthening up. If you are on your knees, make sure you're cushioned and you're not feeling there's any pressure down into the knee joint. Let the shoulders release into the back. Take the band as wide as you feel comfortable, but you may need to adjust it, and that's fine. So just sort of, you know, move your hand position whenever you need to throughout the movement. Taking a lovely deep breath in. Thinking about those landmarks, we've got the pelvis, the rib cage, the head. When we're creating this movement, we want those spaces to be evenly balanced above each other. So we don't want any of them to bulge out or stick back or move around. So think about that lovely poise, like rock balancing. We're going to breathe in to lengthen the arms up towards the ceiling. Shoulders lovely and soft. So if you need to, take a moment just to relax the neck a little bit, let the shoulders drop away from the ears, and then you're going to reach the arms back behind you and lengthen the arms, or the band rather, back down towards your bum. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's stretch and lengthen out and back, trying to keep the arms as straight as possible, but noticing if one arm is kind of moving and leading the movement more. And then let's release the arms all the way down. Take a breath in and out. Breathing in and releasing back. Now, it doesn't really matter to coordinate the breath with the movement, particularly with this one. So just go with whichever feels better for you. Breathing in and breathing out, making sure you're breathing regardless of when you're coordinating that movement. And then release it down. We're going to do one more like this, and then we're going to change it slightly. So let's float up. Soft ribs, drawing in the lower belly just a little bit as you then reach the arm back, noticing if you're kind of poking the head like a pigeon, or whether you're keeping the back of the head in line with the sacrum. Breathing in, breathing out. I'm really noticing my shoulders are quite stiff today. This is quite a good one, this one. And we're going to leave the arms there at the top. So from here, I want you to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just gently bend the elbows so the band comes towards the front of your forehead. So you can try not to get it too much into your eyes or nose, and then lengthen it back up. And now without moving your head, I want you to bend the arms so the band comes behind the head if you can. And then lift. And again, so just alternating. You can make the movement much more gentle if your elbows and your elbows, maybe your elbows, but if your shoulders are struggling, just make the movement really small and don't come down towards the forehead or the back of the head if you need to, if you don't feel it's right. So we just want to work into the front of the chest here a little bit more and really feel that as you're taking the band behind you, you're not tipping your head forward or arching your back at all. So we want to really think about keeping the head, rib cage, pelvis in line with each other. Last one. Dropping the band behind you to finish. And lift. And then release the band all the way down. Now, whether you're standing or on your knees, release now your hands behind you and lengthen them back behind you. So let's just open up through the chest a little bit. Breathe. And then relax the shoulders, maybe just sort of shake them around. You can move the legs a little bit if you're standing. And I want you from here to float the left arm up and just take the left fingertips in between your shoulder blades. And then reaching either across to grab hold of the elbow and coax it across, or if you quite like that more yogi stretch, grab and bind your fingertips. Depends, it might feel easier on one side than the other. I've got this shoulder thing, so I'm not really going to try on that side. It's not great for my shoulder. Breathe. Again, just checking in with the back of the head. Do you think it's in line with your sacrum, your tailbone, or do you think you might be hovering it forward? See if you can just have that sense of, oh, where am I lining the back of the head, the shoulder blades, the pelvis with. And then release. Let's lengthen that arm out to the side and then reach it forward and across, just holding on now through from the onto the forearm. Relax the shoulder into your body as you reach in opposition again. So we're trying to get that sense of one space working against or lengthening away from the other space. So we're not carrying the arm with us. We're really trying to find that stretch in the shoulder joint. And then release it down. Let's go the other way, lifting that arm, feeding the fingertips into the center of the shoulder blade. Notice if you've poked your head forward, and then either binding the fingertips or reaching over. Check in with your rib cage at this point. Has it kind of risen up? See if you can softly connect, tucking the rib cage into your trousers a little bit. And then lengthening that arm out to the side to glide it forward, holding onto the forearm, reaching the arm across, but also drawing it back in. So feel that softness of the shoulder away from the ear to get the stretch into the shoulder joint. And then release it down. Let's just do one more roll down for good luck. So you can take yourself back into parallel if you want. Let's take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lengthen through the back of the neck, rolling down. Really feel the action from the front of your body helping you to roll forward. So the length from the back of the body, the lift from the front of the body. Breathing in. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. And breathing out, let's roll it up. Very nice. Let's from here come down onto your mat. Grab hold of your band again, if you can. And I want you to make sure that you're planting yourself on your sit bones. Okay, and you can do this without the band, remember, so if you don't want to, if you've got one to hand that's the right kind of resistance, don't worry. We're going to plant our heels and loop the band around the foot. If you don't use a band, you just take your hands around the back of the thighs. So what we're going to do is gradually lower ourselves down towards the mat, but we're really going to start firing up the abdominal muscles to resist that drop all the way. So we're only going to go down so far, and then we're going to come back up. So we're working our way down, and then finally we will go all the way. So from here, think about your band. Imagine you're riding a very elegant and lovely horse. So think about the band just being an extension of your hand, just like the reins towards your horse's mouth would be the extension of the touch of your fingers. So I want you to feel like you're not breaking at the wrist or pulling against the band, or the elbows wide and the band narrowing. So really think about that kind of, again, opposition from the elbows to the feet. There's a lovely straight line now. I tend to kind of sickle my wrists in that direction. I have to really soften them down. So consider how you can create that nice seamless line, because it really will help you in terms of recruiting or not being able to cheat with the abdominal muscles. So let's soften the shoulders, take a breath in. But let's just work the elbow shoulder connection, a bit like we did with the standing band work. So take a breath in. As you breathe out, let's just lift through the pelvic floor and into your lower belly to stabilize your spine. And then I want you to just bring the elbows back behind you. So we're just pulling against your own resistance, and then release them back as you breathe in. Breathing out. Crown of the head lifts, shoulder blades connect on the body. Let's do 3 more. Elbows into behind the waist and release. 2 more. And release, and last one. Cool, so again, we've just got that idea of the back of your body connecting and working. Now I want you to think more consciously about the front of your body. So let's breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. As you breathe out, lift through your center, your pelvic floor, lower belly. So that's activate that space underneath the navel, above the pubic bone. And then you're going to tuck your tailbone underneath you. So it's like a J shape of your spine initially. And then I want you to release that J shape further towards the mat. So we're still staying quite lifted with the head, rolling through the lower abdominals, as if you're trying to find the lower the part of the pelvis, but not much into the lower spine, into the mat. Breathing in here, check in with your wrists and your arms, what are they doing? As you breathe out, deepen the abdominal connection, let's roll ourselves forward into a C shape, and then come back to your lengthened spine. Breathe in here, relax the shoulders. As you breathe out, tuck the tailbone underneath you, sending your heels, your tailbone towards your heels, coming into a J shape of your spine. And then as you start to roll down, you can create more of a C shape, softening the chin towards the chest, looking down towards your lower belly, drawing your belly away from your nose. Breathe in here, breathe out, strong lower belly as you restack, and then lengthen up. Let's do 2 more. Take a breath in. So with each one, we just want to go a microsecond a little bit further, so just a little bit more into your lower belly. As you breathe out, tuck the tailbone underneath you. So we're not going to a place where you feel you're straining or your hips are kicking in. I want you to feel the lower belly, the pelvic floor really working, shoulders relaxed. Breathe in here. Breathe out deep in your lower belly to bring you back. And lift and lengthen up. Let's do 1 more, and then on the next one, we'll roll all the way down. As you breathe out, send the tail through the legs. Start to lower yourself down. Little soft C curve to really deepen the lower belly. Go as far as you feel comfortable without kind of hoiking yourself on the band. So keep that arm lengthened. Breathe in. As you breathe out, deepen the lower belly connection. Roll yourself up. Relax the shoulders. Well done. We're going to go all the way down on this next one. So if you need to creep the sit bones a bit closer towards the heels, then do take a breath in. As you breathe out, tuck the tailbone underneath you. Slowly, with control, let's roll ourselves all the way down. With control, slowly, slowly, try and resist gravity. Lovely, all the way down. Now I want you just to take your left foot out of the band, place it on the floor, and lengthen that right leg away, the right foot rather, in the band. So nice and long. And then you're going to just send the leg up to the ceiling. You can switch off the front to the hip, just sort of gently massage if you need to, but bend the knee will do the same. Planting the pelvis, and just really feel like you're lengthening the back of the body. the body, the leg. And take a breath in. And as you breathe out, I want you to send that leg away. So lengthen it straight away towards the floor, but without touching the floor. And then bring it back up. And then again, reach it away, long, long legs. Noticing if your pelvis is moving, the rib cage is moving, then bring it back up. We've got 3 more. Lengthen it away, long, long, long. And lift. Last 2, reach it away. Think about heavy pelvis, heavy ribs. Last 1. And lift. Good, now from here, just taking the band in your right hand, release the left arm away along the floor. You can release the left leg as well if you want to. We did this stretch before, it's a really nice one. Just open that right leg out to the side as far as you can without allowing the left hip to open up, or to lift rather. So a bit of an inner thigh stretch. And then come back through center. And then bend that right knee in. Let's float the left knee in. Take the left foot into the band, release that right leg down. Lengthen the leg up to the ceiling. Relax the shoulders. Just take a moment to kind of find each benchmark of the body, the pelvis, the ribcage, the head, the shoulders, the feet. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, send that leg away, long, long legs, long through the waist. And then lift it back up. 4 more, reach it away long. See if it feels different or the same as the other side. Notice how the supporting leg feels. And lift. Last 2, reach it away. And last 1. And lift. Good. So holding onto the band with the left arm, release the right arm away, lengthen that right leg if you want to as well. And we're going to open the left leg out to the side. Only as far as you can keep the right hip heavy, stretching into the inner thigh, not straining anywhere, soft shoulders, soft ribs. And then bring it back through center. And then just bring, actually let's do a lovely little curl up here. So bend that left leg in and then float the right leg back in as well. So we're going to have the feet together, the knees slightly apart, elbows nice and open, arms holding onto the band. Take a breath in. You can do this without the curl up, remember. As you breathe out, we're going to send the legs away, inner thighs connect and curl up. Just looking down towards your belly, squeezing those inner thighs. Now from here, I want you to open 5 times like we did at the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and then bring everything back. Release the head and shoulders down, maybe a little roll from side to side. Breathing in, breathing out, curling up. You can keep the hands, the head down if you need to. We're going to do 5 opens. 1, 2, squeeze the inner thighs. 4, whoops, 4 and 5, and bring it back. Release the head from side to side, shoulders relax. We've got 1 more. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, sending the legs away, squeezing the inner thighs, relax the shoulders, long neck, open. 1, 2, deep in the belly. 3, 4, 5, and back through center. Just release the band away. Hug the knees into the chest, just rolling from side to side. Let's take hold of the right leg, send the left leg away, hug the right leg in. So really try and stretch out through that hip joint. And change. Left leg in, release the right leg. Luxuriate in the stretch. Now you can stay there. We're going to make that a bit more dynamic and alternate in a little single leg stretch. So either stay in this lovely static slow one or alternate. So take a breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to curl up, and then we're going to change. So lengthen, keep the leg lifted, and change, and change. 3 more either side. So long neck, looking down towards your belly, reaching the legs away. You can keep them quite high if you need to. Last one either side. Both legs in towards you, release the head down. Now from here, A lovely little stretch. Let's bring the legs together. Release your arms down, down towards the floor. With control, roll the knees all the way across to the left. So really lengthen. Let this right arm open out towards the right. You can either keep your left hand on the right thigh, or you can just relax it on the floor, whichever feels right for you. But open into that left side of your shoulder and arm area, breathing into that space. And then when you're ready, you can either roll back to the center with your feet on the floor, or a little bit more work for the abdominals, floating them back through center, really deepen the abdominals in order to control that, and then lower with control to the other side. So all the way down towards the floor, taking the right hand onto the left thigh, open this left arm out to the side, maybe even do a little half snow angel to relax into that shoulder joint. Breathe. Really see if you can take up the whole space of that left side of your body with the breath. And with control, bringing it back through center. Maybe roll from side to side. Release the feet, one, followed by the other. Let's lower the arms down by your side. We're going to take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just roll up through the spine into your spine curl, lifting the bum. Breathe in, breathe out, roll it down. Let's do 3 more like that, quite swiftly, just rolling up, pressing the hips to the ceiling, keeping the rib cage connected to the pelvis rather than pinging to the ceiling. And lower it down. 2 more, lengthen up, heavy feet, heavy shoulders, heavy head, breathe in. Breathing out to lower, last one. And lower it all the way back down. Lovely. Now from here, just windscreen wipe your, oh, I just rolled over onto my arm. I had my jab yesterday, it hurt. Windscreen wipe your legs. Just lengthening the hips a little bit. Just really let go of any tension you might still be holding around the hip, the lower back, the shoulders. You can really take that movement down into a lovely slow wave, if you like. Or you can now just completely soften into stillness. So either legs lengthening out, or draping them over a little pillow, or even rolling over to your side and being in more of a fetal position. So whichever position beckons you to feeling more comfortable. And make sure that you're comfortable. So see if you can just that little bit more, give yourself just that little bit more support, softness around the shoulders, the head, the neck. So I will leave you momentarily, but I want you to stay here for as long as you feel comfortable. So see if you can allow yourself that space, 10 minutes or so, just to allow your nervous system to fully lower, your heart rate to slow, your breathing to lengthen. Give yourself that lovely sense of space before bedtime. So you're halfway to sleep already. Checking in with your shoulders, your face, your belly. Relax the hips. Soften the jaw. And take 5 slow, deep breaths. And enjoy your tranquility. And I will see you next week, guys.